Hi, this is Kevin with Advanced Leather Solutions. We're going to do a demonstration today of the application of our generic browns. Now we have two different versions of generic brown. We have a coffee bean brown and we have a mahogany brown. Now they both will render dark, but coffee bean will be less red or perhaps more to the green, whereas the mahogany is going to be more to the red side of things. Now we're going to apply the base coat across the leather. Once that is done, we're then going to adjust the color with what we call the print coat. The print coat application is going to be put on stages. So we're going to do everything with the base, and then we're going to do 3 different tiers of the print so we can see the degree of darkening that each tier presents. Application tool for the base will be the standard foam brush. Application tool for the print will be our tamping sponge with that erratic face on it. Paper towel will be in play, and you'll see that in just a minute. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to apply the base coat to the left side of the leather, and the way I'm doing that is I'm going to apply it in the form of a bead along the edge of the applicator, and then I'm going to simply wipe it in a normal standard painting motion. So now we have one coat of the base down on the coffee bean side of things, and let's try one coat of the mahogany. Again, a bead, and you can see how much redder that is. We actually have pretty good coverage. Remember, this was gray, and now we're going to be putting a second coat of the color on, and it's essentially the same procedure. Now you can put it directly onto the applicator as such, and then you are lightly applying it to the surface of the leather. Now we're on to the mahogany reference. I'm doing the same thing, a little bit of color onto the applicator and then applying it. As you can see, sometimes it's okay if you the first pass you went up and down, and the second pass you go side to side. So they're safe to use in your home. There's actually no obnoxious odor, and frankly there's no odor at all. So now we have a fairly even distribution of the color in both cases. And you can continue around the piece like this, letting it air dry, so by the time you get to the back end of a sofa, the front end is going to be dry, but you could use a hair dryer. In our case, we're going to be using a commercial grade heat gun in order to accelerate drying. What does drying mean? It means that the water content of the color mixture has evaporated. To this level, we have now a base color, and you can say it took us 2 coats to get the render that we wanted. Now we have the base color applied, and we have our coffee bean on one side, our mahogany on the other. What we're going to do is apply our print coat, a print color, which is going to darken, and it's going to darken it depending upon the number of coats we actually apply. So, how do we apply the print color? Well, we apply the print color, which is in this container here, using this device, which, as you can see, it's a sponge that we have established an erratic face to it. And so the way we actually accomplish this goal is we put some of the print color onto some kind of an applicator container, or some kind of a color container. In this case, you can see we're using this happy paper plate. Kind of move it around a little bit so that we have somewhat of an even distribution. It doesn't have to be perfect. Process. What we do is we put some color onto the applicator. Check it out. We then take the color and we take the majority of the color off the applicator onto this paper towel. So you can see I want minimal application on the applicator. Then rapid motion, rapidly tamping up and down. I'm creating a sense of color variation. If there's an area where the color has built up a little bit more than what you'd like, take the flat side of the sponge. So now onto the mahogany. Same concept. Repeat the process into the color. Make sure we have good color application. We do. Off to the paper towel. Take the majority of the color off. And away we go. Let's take a look at the differential that we've established so far. So I'm going to remove the masking tape, and you can see the color differential. See how this is darker than that, this is darker than that, and see how this is darker than that. And frankly, you want subtlety in this process. You can always go darker, but it's always going to be a little bit easier to go darker than to reverse the process and go back to lighter again. And so let's see what happens when we put our second minimal level of color down. because I don't want complete coverage. Same thing on the mahogany side of the world. A little bit in, onto the paper towel, and then onto the leather. So you can see, base, one layer of print, two layers of print. Base, one layer of print. And now for our third pass of color. We're going to follow exactly the same procedure. We're going to be using our tamping tool, and we're going to tamp it into our print color, getting pretty decent coverage, taking the color off onto a paper towel so that we don't have a lot of color on here, and then a tamping motion. You can make it as dark as you want using this procedure. Now we'll move over to the mahogany. We're going to do the gently pull back the masking tape. Now you can see how significant a differential that we have between here and here now, because we actually applied a little bit more color in there, but we have now grades of differential from here to here to here to here, and of course the same thing is true here. So depending upon the amount of print coat that you put on determines the degree of darkening that you'll actually take it. This is Kevin with Advanced Leather Solutions. You can see this demonstration, of course, and you can see how easy it is for you to attain the color you want using our generic coloring system. Give us a call if you have any questions, 510-786-6059.